Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. We are back here on my recreation of Firewatch Island from Greg A. Vaughn's Volume 106 of Dragon Magazine submission, The Tamarant's Fate. It was recently republished in a book called The Ghost of Saltmarsh by Wizards of the Coast. Now, as you kind of cast your gaze over here, it becomes really obvious that I've made some additions to the island in the form of, like, a bunch of random chests and furnaces that just look like garbage everywhere. This is a very uniquely Joe Hills contribution to the build, but it's not necessary because I have barrels and fireworks and poor planning. So one thing about this tower here is the first floor of this tower, which is area 15 in the map, is described as a storage room. So I kind of figure I'm just going to start, like, stacking up barrels everywhere in here, right? That seems like a reasonable thing to do. That's what reasonable persons do, reasonable things, whenever they can, to whatever degree they feel comfortable. So I'm just going to stack up a bunch of barrels all through here, and then I'm going to go grab all that random stuff that was in all those chests out there, and, I don't know, reallocate it. Let's redistribute that wealth, if you describe wealth as, like, a chest full of dirt. But yeah, let's go redistribute some chests full of dirt. Yay! And then hopefully we can get all this tidied up a little bit. I think on the whole, that is more of an off-camera activity than an on-camera activity. So if you just want to imagine me doing what I just did there, like 800 times, because it's going to be, you know, a lot of this. But if you want to imagine that, or you can just scrub back and forth in YouTube and rewatch that like 800 times, you'll get a real sense of what I'm doing here today. I should probably build an elaborate minecart system to just move everything over there, but nah. Time skip. One of the great things about getting organized is it's a chance to get rid of stuff you don't need anymore. Now, all of those chests full of stuff I was trying to get rid of, Rendog apparently needs for his upcoming projects. He is off to Canada soon, so he said, hey, you know what would save me a few hours of, you know, what do you call that? Resource gathering, is if you could leave a bunch of stone for me outside my dojo, which we just smacked our head into, I believe. Oh, guys, take off your shoes. This is a place of peace. Of course, I don't have any room in my inventory for my shoes because I'm carrying so much stone. I've got 4 shulker boxes full of stone already. I gotta say, I love the way he used the scaffolding to make the mats for the dojo. This is a beautiful space. So if you haven't seen Ren's latest series, you should definitely check out some of his building. Man, this is great stuff. But we are going to come out here, and let's set down some chests out on his porch here. I don't want to interfere with the interior of his build, because he is just doing such extravagant, exceptional work. But we'll go ahead and set down these chests and kind of start unloading what we can. He's going to pay us 5 diamonds for every double chest full of stone. Now, we are only going to be able to carry about maybe 2 and some change double chests worth of stone on each flat, given that I've only got so many shulker boxes at the moment. But man, we have so much stone from digging out that mountain that I'm pretty sure... Let's see, we've got at least one more here. We should be able to make some diamonds off this. And, we'll go ahead and leave a sign. Delivery for Ren Dog from Joe Hills. Part 1 of question mark. And then he won't be able to read that at all. But you know what? That's too bad for us, and too bad for him. Communication is a process that famously requires more than one person be successful at it. So, you know what? He'll understand that the stone is here, and, you know, that'll be a start. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a few more loads of stone. Luckily, False Symmetry has a super convenient portal inside of her base right here, which is impossible to die inside of. Actually, yeah, this is a terrible idea. All that's really dark and scary. We're going to go somewhere else that has an easier-to-use portal. Time skip. Emerging from dropping off that stone, you'll see that the sand is all alone, unburdened by chests or ovens. I think that this is really the way that this was intended to be seen, although the random torches here are a little bit distracting. Although, also, this portal structure here, this needs to go. We can't just leave this here. So what I've done is I've constructed the dock from the book at the appropriate distance and location relative to the front entrance, and what I'm imagining I'll do is I'll take these lapis lazuli blocks, of which I have several, if not too many. I'm living in a world of lapis lazuli plenty, and I was thinking, whoa, would there be any merit to having the portal be under the water here? Like, what if you came out of the portal and then climbed up a ladder to go onto the dock, right? That would be pretty cool. So I brought these ladders, which I've now moved into my offhand somehow. And I've got this zombie guy who wants to be hitting the head with an axe repeatedly. Hey, he paid me for the experience. That's how you can tell I'm a professional. No, come back. My money... How is there a current here? How did that even happen? Okay, core concept, though. What I'm imagining we could do is kind of bury the portal in the sea back here, so when you come out of the portal and you come up the dock, you get the experience you would actually visiting this place for the first time in real life. I'm starting to realize that it would be really good to have some sort of higher contrasting bricks, possibly in this wall here or on this arch, to kind of separate the front wall from this back wall. But I don't know, that's always kind of difficult to justify why they would have such different materials used on such a remote build. Like, obviously, if they have sandstone here, they're going to build it out of sandstone. So, maybe hanging pennants. Ooh, what if we hung a bunch of colorful banners? That would be cool, because, like, this is a spiritual place, and so hanging colorful banners that are, like, the colors of the flowers that we're going to replant along the hillside and stuff like that. Or we could hang... Yeah, there's something there. That'll give us a contrast where you can see the line of the wall against the line of the building better. That could look neat. And then it doesn't... And it's still on theme with everything else. Okay. Yeah, why don't we play with that idea a bit? And I'm going to continue building some sort of portal containment pod here. I don't know. There's probably a fancy word in Minecraft, because Minecraft has been around for so long now that there's fancy words for everything. There's probably a fancy word for, like, a place you bury a portal. Ooh, this is not low enough, actually. Whoa, how am I suddenly lower? I don't know. Core concept, we'll go ahead and probably bring this down a few blocks just to make sure that we actually have room to fit the portal in. Because if the portal is going to be a minimum of 5 blocks high, we can't have it start 2 blocks below the waterline. That's just, you know, lazy waterline comprehension. So, like, it would come down here maybe more like this. That's 6 at least. Yeah, there we go. So then we could kind of build this up along here, put the portal in. It'll be good. I think we have a promising start to a kind of interesting entrance, you know? I'm so used to seeing portals above water, but we don't really see them underwater. So why don't we conceal this so no one ever sees it underwater, and we don't surprise anyone. We don't want to give anybody a heart attack. They come here to relax. Time skip. As we emerge from this portal here, you see now we have ladders that reach the skies with aspirations that are only exceeded by our own. This dock has now been, I don't know, pretty well camouflaged. I mean, well, the dock itself isn't camouflaged. We didn't, like, put, like, some fake duck feathers on it or whatever. But the portal is pretty hard to notice there. The blue does a good job, I think. I've also managed to cover some more of this kind of beach shelf here with sand. I've been kind of slowly gathering sand and replacing bits of this to make the island feel as large as it's supposed to. But one thing that is notable is I actually kind of had to go through here and just replace a lot of just the general terrain around the island with sand. Like, this is just too much dirt. This is not an appropriate amount of soil for outside of the cultivated areas. Like, I was kind of imagining up on the hills there would be some more soil, and that's where we put the flower gardens and stuff. But for this whole just general area here, this just needs to be covered with sand. Now, you'll notice I didn't remove all of the dirt and sand because I'm just going to kind of gently add some terrain features here. We can follow the original terrain as a guide, because it's lazier than imagining our own terrain entirely. And minor variations in the terrain don't really affect the look and feel of the map significantly enough to detract from Greg A. Vaughan's original vision. So we can just kind of do what we want, and he can do what he Vaughns. I don't know. Maybe that's not an exact rhyme. But you know what? Precision is the opposite of improvisation, which is why so few surgeons make things up as they go. Although, I guess they technically, like sometimes, like if they got somebody cut open, they'll find something that they didn't expect to, and then they'll have to improvise. But so, like, you have to be trained to improvise. You have to be trained to make things up as you go. But ideally, you're just switching between procedures at a certain point. Like, so you're not like, oh no, I'd better discover what a lung is on the fly because I've never seen a lung before. It's like, oh hey, there's something, we opened this guy's chest and we found something wrong we didn't expect to, but we also already have a procedure for addressing that, so we're going to switch to additionally doing that procedure on top of the procedure we were already doing. You know? There are certain things. But yeah, what was I doing? I was just putting sand down wherever it made sense. And that just makes sense to me. It's a simple, easy process. Saves me the trouble of imagining things that are without end. Because, like, you know, you have to have a certain end to your imagination. You don't want to go spiraling out into madness. But also, you should have an ends to your imagination. Your imaginations should be a means to accomplish things. So, you know, just try to imagine what that could be. Because if you can't, you might need to work on your imagination. And also your long-term plans. I don't know. Maybe figure something out. You can do it. I believe in you. So, just kind of obscuring this part here. We're kind of low on sand already, unfortunately. But just obscuring this much of it from the docks will just massively improve the overall look and feel. Oh no, I didn't even have enough sand to get over there, that side. 15 sand left. Time to demolish all of this. No, wait. Time to barely replace any of this. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. We can always figure this out too. But just coming from over here though. When you come out of the portal, you'll now see the Hermitage in front of you. You'll see a little bit of sand. You'll see some grassy trees. We'll add more flowers and whatnot up to the hill. But yeah, this is feeling a little bit better. This is too harsh a straight line, perhaps, right here. We're going to soften this out, I think. But this is a reasonable first step as we continue. Time skip. Having returned from the desert with sand in hand and probably in between my toes and my socks, you know where sand goes. Anyway, I ran through here and I cleaned up some of the little terrain around, gave this a generally more deserted island appearance by taking a little bit of the desert home with me. Kind of roughed out this here. It just, on the whole, feels a little better. It's maybe too regular to some degree. Like, that being the same depth back as this one, that feels wrong. Let's just fill that in real quick. Boom. But now that's really straight. I don't know. We'll round it out. We'll do something. It's all a video game where we put things in other things. So, we'll figure it out. Yeah, this water looks worse now. We should do the opposite. We'll make it all stick out further here. I don't know. It's one crisis to another on Hermitcraft. That's just how it goes. But yeah, it's almost something, kind of. It's a start. That's the thing, is everything is a start if you believe in yourself enough. And I wouldn't have believed when I started this episode that I could actually clear out all 30 or something of these chests, let alone help Rendog in the process. So that is a small victory in and of itself. Having this little chamber here for our portal, also small victory. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate those small victories by ending this episode. Now, you might have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free. And that is thanks to $50 a month Patreon sponsor Alex. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a poem of my own devising. This poem is called Islands, for one or more players. Playing Islands is easy. You don't need cards, or dice, or helmets, or gloves, or bankers, or referees. Setup. Surround yourself with water. Feel the waves lapping at you, all around, crashing, in their own time. Face the sky and watch the clouds do whatever they want, drifting, floating, transforming. Clouds aren't your problem. Listen to the birds. Their songs are your score. Victory is achieved by being a good island. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.